Hello, and welcome to today's episode of Authors Between the Covers on the Incandescent Radio Network. I'm Hope Katz Gibbs, host of the show and creator of Incandescent PR and Publishing. Thrilled beyond belief to be here with amazing award-winning teacher and author Phillip Done. How are you, Phil?
I'm well. Thank you so much for having me, Hope. I am so happy to be speaking with you today. Thank you.
I have to tell the audience. Well, first, you're in Hungary, so you're going to have to tell us all about that. But I want to tell
Yep.
the audience that we met in 2005. Somehow I found your first book. We're still trying to remember how. 32 third graders in one class, funny, which is behind you. My kids were in elementary school at the time, and I was the communications director of the City of Fairfax Schools in Northern Virginia. And I think I read your book in one sitting. Made me laugh. It made me cry. I was reading passages to people. I bought dozens of them and sent them to everyone I knew because it was so poignant and perfect if you're a parent, if you're a teacher, if you're a kid. So I'm just thrilled to be talking to you today and also to be talking about your newest book, which is coming out July 26th, 2022, called The Art of Teaching Children. So tell us about this book.
Well, about 3 years ago, I retired from the classroom after 33 years of teaching elementary school. And I wanted to do something for the teaching profession. And I also wanted to write another book. I thought, I have one more book in me. I want to write something. And it came to me, I'm a retired teacher now. Why don't I take everything I've learned about teaching children and put it all in one book to help teachers? And along with that, as you know, teachers have had a rough time the last few years. It's been rough, and so I wanted to give teachers help and support and guidance and shot in the arm, and this was my way to do it. So it was retiring from the classroom that gave me the idea, aha, let's write a book from the perspective of a retired teacher, because it really has not been done before in elementary. My first book was, of course, when I was teaching, and it's humorous and heartwarming stories from the classroom, like you so kindly just shared. And also, my second book was that way. But this is different. This is now, after 33 years looking back, what have I learned? What's important? What do you really need to know? So that's how it came to be.
That's amazing. So tell us a little bit about dive into the chapter. I could talk about it, but I'd rather it come from you. Tell us what are some of your biggest tips?
Some of my biggest tips for teaching? Ah, now that could take hours because the whole book is tips for teaching. But one of the things I would say right away, and I write about this in the book, is it's very important to establish relationships with the children. It's really all about connection and connecting with the kids. Uh, if you don't establish a rapport with those children, they're not as apt to learn or to buy into what you're trying to accomplish. So I would say way up there in priorities is establishing a rapport with children.
What tips do you have for parents?
Ah, I do. Let me say this. The book is not just for teachers. It is for aspiring teachers and new teachers, as well as veteran teachers. But it is also for parents, and I'm getting quite a bit of feedback from parents already. I sent some advanced galley copies out to parents of students I had had, and the the common thread I'm hearing is, Phil, do you know that this is just as valuable for parents? Parents want to know how to do it too. So, some tips for parents that I would give, especially in the beginning of the school year, are, I'm going to give you some practical ones for the start of the year. Number one, leave the teacher alone the first few days of school. I'll tell you why. Those teachers are completely overwhelmed. They're trying to learn your kids. You don't need to go in day one to talk about the kids. Just give them a few days. They'll reach out to you or you can reach out to them, but give them the breather the first few days. Let them get to know your children. Number two, email. This is very important. And I always say this at back to school night. Email is not for addressing a concern. If you have a concern about your student, any kind of concern, don't get into it over email. Just ask the teacher if you could make an appointment or schedule a conference. Email, as I tell my parents, is for my child is going to be late for school today and the lunch is in the office. That's it. Don't get into concerns. Make an appointment for that. Unfortunately, some new teachers don't do this. They want to get along with the parents, so they feel that they need to get in these interactions over email, and then it can just become a real mess. I've seen it time and time again. So, email. Um, be careful about it. Number three, teacher appreciation. To show teacher appreciation, don't just wait for teacher appreciation, which is lovely, but show some appreciation outside of teacher appreciation week. And I'll tell you the number one way to show teachers appreciation. It's not a coffee mug. It's not a bath set. It's a handwritten. Now, I had a conversation, I write about this in the book, with a friend of mine, and she was raving, just going on about her son's second grade teacher. She loved her. And I said to her, I said, have you written her a note? And she absolutely got wide-eyed and said, I didn't even think of it. And I said, send her a note, but don't email her. Write the note. For that teacher, it just made her day. My friend came back to me and said, you were absolutely right. Teachers save the notes.
So what's next for you? What's going on after the art of teaching children?
Well, the big next right now is the book. All my focus is here because it comes out in 2 weeks, which I'm very excited about. And then depending on that, we'll see what happens. It's like that Dr. Seuss book, oh, the places you'll go. I When I had my first book come out, I never dreamed what would come about as that. The book was translated into Chinese and Korean, and they want the audio book, and you just don't know what's coming down the pike. And so I'm excited about that, and so I'm really focused on that right now. After that, oh, I don't know. Maybe I'll write something else. I just don't.
Quick question: do you miss being a teacher?
I miss the kids. Absolutely. There are times I really miss the children. And any retired teacher that enjoyed teaching till the end will tell you. I do not miss the politics. I don't miss the staff meetings. Any teacher will tell you that as well. I do not miss report card writing, or staying up till 12 watching late night with a stack of papers on my lap. But I miss the kids. And I'll tell you when I miss them. I miss them sometimes at certain benchmarks in the year. Um, December is a magical time with children. Beginning of the school year is always just the greatest time of the year. It's just at certain times in the year. When I drive by a school and they're out on recess, yeah, then I get a heart. Yeah.
Super sweet. All right, I'm going to throw you a slight curveball. Can you pick up that book and read us a little tiny bit of the art of teaching children?
Oh, absolutely. So, let's see. Let me. You know what I'm going to read to you. Um, I'm going to pick a section from the halfway through the book. It's called uh, teachers as artists. And I'll tell you why as I'm looking for it, why I'm picking that essay. Um, I believe it's the anchor chapter for the book. Um, we all hear the phrase, "Oh, teachers are artists," but that's about as far as we go with it. I've never read or heard anybody expound on that too much. And so, before I wrote this essay, I, I really sat down and thought hard about it. What does that really mean? I'd never read it, so I thought I'm going to write it. So um, let me. I'm going to skip the introductory paragraph, and since you just asked for a short bit, and get to um, a little more of the meat of the chapter. So this is an excerpt from Teachers as Artists, which is one of my personal favorites. If you read the book, you'll know, hey, the author really likes this chapter. Okay, it makes sense that so many artists had once been teachers. In the previous paragraph, I talk about many of the artists who had once been teachers. I mean, it's amazing, um, but I'll skip it. Although teaching can be a science, teachers collect and analyze data, and also a craft. Teachers can create anything out of a paper plate or an egg carton. It is mainly an art. You can know all the data, but without artistry, your teaching can still fall flat. It's an art to know the right questions to ask, to know when to assist and when to stand back, and to be able to explain something in such a way that a child will understand. It's an art to create lessons about subjects that students might not care about, but need to learn. It's an art to read a child's feelings, to be able to win over a student who has built up walls, and to bring out a shy child until she is comfortable participating in class. It's an art to be able to get a crying kindergartner into the classroom on the first day of school, then ensure that he has a good day. It's an art to gauge the waning engagement in a room and know when to switch gears to restore it. It's an art to convince children that events that occurred before they were born are more important than what's happening on their phones.
It's beautiful, beautiful. Bill, I can't thank you enough for your time. I can't wait to keep up with you. I want to see how this book goes. It is on audio. Both of your books are audiobooks, and you can get them on Amazon or other fantastic places. So thank you, thank you, thank you, sir. Best of luck to this amazing book. And to you, stay well.
Thank you. Thank
Keep
you. And thank
writing.
you for having me. Oh, it's
All right.
so good to talk with you.
You too, you too. All right, everyone. Phil Done, amazing award-winning teacher and author. The Art of Teaching Children is a must-have, as is 32 third graders in one class funny. So get his books and laugh and cry and hug your kids. We'll talk to you soon. I'm Hope Katz-Gibbs, Incandescent PR and Publishing. You are listening to the Authors Between the Covers show. We'll talk with you soon. Thank you so much for being part of our Incandescent Radio and TV family. This is Hope Katz-Gibbs, founder of Incandescent Incorporated, the PR and publishing company for women entrepreneurs. We invite you to discover and peruse all the Incandescent Incorporated websites, the magazine for women, by women, about women, incandescentwomen.com. Our health and wellness magazine is beincandescent.com, the business of mind, body, spirit, soul, and heart. Our YouTube channel is incandescent.tv, and you can learn about our PR and book publishing services at incandescent.us. If you'd like to have your own radio and video show, check us out at incandescentradio.com, where you can see what we can do for you. These podcasts are also featured on iTunes, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Our podcasts are produced by Brandy Wilsker. Our videos are produced by Nelson Benavides. Our website developer is Max Cucoy, and our incandescent illustrator and designer is Michael Glenwood Gibbs. Here is to your incredible, indelible, incandescent success. Much love and many